What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, OTB Nation? Welcome in to episode number 252 of the allegedly award-nominated, honorably mentioned, number 9 NCAA podcast, and of course viewable on YouTube, Outside the Box podcast, part of the Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast network. It's KB and Deej. We had mail day. And I didn't let Deej see what came in mail day until just now. Shout out to Roch Vegas.
I can't wait to tell Paul how much of a traitor you are.
Well, here's the funny part. Paul Day started with the Rochester Nighthawks, so it's vintage.
Nope. Now, I'm pretty sure he was there. I don't know too much, but I'm pretty sure he was there when they were rocking the blue.
Yes.
So therefore, you're out of line.
This falls in line, though, with, I'm telling for the people, the jersey I'm currently wearing. If you're not watching on YouTube, go watch on YouTube, subscribe, youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. This is not the jersey the Rochester Nighthawks wear anymore. It falls in line with the narrative of every lacrosse jersey I own. It's vintage.
Still doesn't change.
I had to pull it out for the pod.
That's
especially
fine.
After
that's fine.
The unbelievable win that they had, which we'll get into in just a little bit.
I knew I forgot something.
Uh-oh.
Pain. That's real pain.
What'd you forget?
To watch the Rochester game.
Oh, no.
Dude, after the week I had at work.
I felt that with my soul.
2 people got fired this week. So we're down to 3 in a month.
Good grief.
And it's insane right now. Nobody feels safe.
Telling in my no free ads.
Yeah, so everything else has fallen off the map pretty much for me.
Oh, man.
So I'm going to watch that after we record.
It's a banger of a game. Shout out to the boy Connor Fields. That's what I got to say.
I know the final score, so.
We'll dive into our Week 2 recap here at the top of the show. But before we get started, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at OTB LaxPod, Twitter, Instagram. Of course, subscribe to the podcast as well. But follow DJ on Twitter at SCS_NextGreat. Follow me at KBIZZL311. Subscribe to the podcast feed, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We're there. Leaving those 5-star ratings and reviews really does help the show continue to grow, helps more people get their eyes and ears on OTB. And we're currently sitting at 117 overall ratings and reviews. Need to get it up, though. We're only at a 4.7 out of 5. Let's get back up near that 5 territory. And I think we can get to 125 overall reviews by the end of the year. So go subscribe on your favorite podcast app of choice. And if it is Apple, leave a 5-star review. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, where you get full video episodes, live streams, and all the original content coming out of Underground Studios right on our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. Subscribe, be a friend, tell a friend, smash that like button, ring the bell icon, comment down below your thoughts on everything Deej and I cover on tonight's episode, and subscribe. We all want us to get to 350 subscribers by the end of 2022. We're currently at 329. It's so doable. Be a friend, tell a friend. That's what we want for Christmas from OTB Nation. Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
It's just 9 plus 10 for 21.
Do I know one?
Subscribe. Like, come on.
Stupid. Not. And of course, the number one way to support us, go get your merch. PHI Apparel Company is the place to go for all of the officially licensed OTB merch now at PHI Apparel Company. There's no doubt in our minds that with their unique designs, all the OTB logos that are coming your way, you're going to stand out when you're going to support your favorite team, when you're going to the bars, when you're watching with your friends. they're going to ask you, where'd you get that shirt? And you're going to tell them, I got my OTB merch from PHI Apparel Company. And you guys can go to phiapparel.co. That's phiapparel.co. And use code underground for 10% off any merch order. Shout out to Josh. He got his merch earlier this week. Shout out to the homie repping us out in Oregon. You can go get your merch, phiapparel.co. Use code underground for 10% off your order. Deej, what is poppin', my man? Our Method Man shirts have finally arrived, and the boy is rocking the Blade shades.
I think I'm losing the hat today.
He said, I'm not doing the hat. Give me a katana, and I'm ready to slay some vampires.
I do kind of look like Blade, huh? He could be my dad.
Yo, Mahershala, really your dad?
He
That's
just might
crazy.
be. He literally just might be. I've literally can't tell you like anything about lacrosse. I caught up on the 3 games other than the Rochester game, so I can talk about that. You're gonna have to give me the rundown, and I'm gonna react. Like, people are going to see my bare reaction to the most recent top 50.
I see what you did there with the bear on your shirt.
Literally,
Shirt's fire, man.
My bare reaction, like first glance at the updated top 50. I haven't seen anything since last week. Like, literally, lacrosse has like almost not existed in my life.
That's why he's got the shades on. He's been blind to it.
Literally, other than my box practice that I had Sunday, I have had like no. And then the games that I watched Sunday, mostly Sunday, and I think I watched one game Monday.
You've got a ton this week because the schedule for the NLL for Week 3 is loaded. But let's recap NLL Week 2, and it's brought to you by the homies over at Tomahawk Shades, the best small batch eyewear in the game. They're doing 7 days of Tomahawk this week. You go to their website, claim whatever they've got. I think right now it's buy one, get one free. If you go claim it, you get it. TomahawkShades.com. They're the best small batch eyewear in the game. Owned by Kyle Harrison, Chris Hogan, and a couple other former athletes as well. They just partnered. If you guys also listen to Underground Sports Philadelphia, you know Matt and I talk about Survivor. They just partnered with one of our all-time favorite Survivor castaways of all time, Tyson Apostle. He's in pickleball as well, so that's where he's rocking the Tomahawk shades. But Tyson is now a Tomahawk brand ambassador and part of the Tomahawk team. You see Deej rocking them right now if you're watching on YouTube, which you should. TomahawkShades.com. And Deej, they've got, for everybody out there, I don't know what it's like Michigan-wise, but I know a lot of people from Jersey head up to the Poconos. You're very familiar with the Poconos to go skiing and snowboarding around this time of year. Well, they got the Tomahawk ski goggles back in stock for the season. Go get them. And from everything I've been told, they are very affordable. Plus, you can use code USP for 25% off, and it brings the price of the ski and snow goggles down to $108.
I might just go get a pair of them myself.
Might just wear them on the pod.
No, I don't even care about the pod. Do you know what it's like driving in a Michigan winter when the sun is shining? Oh, dog.
If you bought them and drove to work with ski goggles on, I would need you to film the entire drive to work.
I do it. I got you. If I buy those, I will absolutely record.
It's reverse dash cam.
YouTube short for sure. Like
POV, you're driving in my Tomahawk goggles. But go to TomahawkShades.com. Use code USP for 25% off your order. Deej, you caught up on 3 of the 4 games. You know the scores of all of them. But to recap for the people at home, Panther City gets their opening weekend win at home over Las Vegas, 13-11. San Diego and Saskatchewan go to the most ridiculous overtime game in recent memory. 13-12, the Seals come away with a win. Rochester, big win over the Toronto Rock, an 11-7 dub for Roch Vegas. And then Calgary tops Vancouver 11-9 in their home opener. From the 3 games you watched, Deej, I'm sure you're going to start with that Wild Wild West matchup in San Diego. But what stood out to you the most from this past weekend?
Actually, I wanted to start with most recent expansion teams. Vegas looked fantastic, in my opinion. Like, offensively, it was a little slow at first, which I always expect. Not because I'm a defensive guy, but just because this goes back to playing basketball. Like, the common sense of defense to offense just clicks faster on defense than it does on offense. Like, guys just understand the basic concept and don't have to work too hard necessarily to get to know people on defense the way you do on offense. So it just goes back to that. Like, their defense looked so good because, like, I mean, obviously they put in the work, but you could tell that they kind of did a little more work putting in that chemistry side on the defense. And then the offense got into it. They got their sticks together, got the jitters off. They saw the ball. It really was just seeing the ball go in the back of the net for the first time. That's how it is, especially being an expansion team. Like, somebody has to break the seal, and then things get a lot easier. Boom, someone did it, and it started to roll for them. So I thought they looked really good. Panther City, just being, having that 1 year of experience, was able to temper things, find their groove, and just ride with that. So I was very pleased in that opening matchup for the both of them and excited to see what they have for the rest of the year.
Yeah, 100%. And, it was very funny, the entire broadcast, because one of Panther City's front office executives was on the broadcast for the entire broadcast of that Panther City game. And they kept calling Jack Hanna like a bubble player. And it's like, did you not see what he did at Denver? Did you not see what he did for the Water Dogs this summer? Jack Hanna's going to be ridiculous in the NLL. And he proved it this weekend. He's going to be our Rookie of the Week for Week 2. We can spoil that right there. I was flabbergasted at just how, I knew he was going to be good because of the type of player Jack Hanna is. I knew his game would translate well. I was thoroughly, overjoyed by how good Jack Hanna looked in the NLL. And it's only going to continue. He's going to be a force in the NLL for at least the next 10 years. Bare minimum. And I'm so excited for him. He's a dog, literally. And, he's going to be a core piece of that Vegas Desert Dogs team for a long time.
And not because of his skill. As crazy as that sounds, it's not because of his skill. He's great, fantastic, an amazing weapon on the offensive side. And I think they're going to try and run him in a little bit of a transition role, it looks like, sometimes. So he's going to do well there as well. He can play solid enough defense to in a transition type role. So I think he'll be okay there, get in on some loose balls. But the biggest thing is the tenacity and the attitude he plays with.
And he's just smart. He's so smart.
Yeah, you don't see that same tenacity out in the field game in PLL because he has that space to just be free. But since it's so tight and you have to play with aggression and tenacity and that effort, I thought he was just feisty out there. He got into some stuff, and I was like, is this oh boy, we're number 3 for that purple team? Ain't no way Jack Hanna getting in dudes' faces and throwing punches. I loved it, but it's amazing to see the tenacity he plays with inside, and that's the kind of thing that I know their leadership team is looking for, because I know their leadership team outside of the sport of lacrosse.
Yeah, 100%. And it eerily reminded me of just the tenacity and just the quick awareness that Matt Rambo had his first year with the Wings, and everybody being how is his game going to translate to the box game? How is it going to be? Matt Rambo's this great field lacrosse player. How's it going to be, when he takes it indoors? And it's been fantastic from day one. Jack Hanna is going to be in the NLL for a very long time, and I'm so happy for him that he's getting his early flowers already. To me, looking back at the games last week, obviously that San Diego Saskatchewan game is all time already for this season. We're 2 weeks in, and you have a team come back being down 10-3, force overtime, and then walk it off with a win at home. That viewpoint that Diggs tweeted out when he was at the game was unreal. Just seeing the crowd in San Diego and how they've been able to continue growing the fan base out there. Saskatchewan is looking very good, though, and that's a good sign just for the league as a whole, where the West, so far 2 weeks in, a lot more competitive than I think a lot of people were anticipating. Where there was a lot of question marks, I think, more so about the West than there was about the East. And it's a good thing that, there's going to be this competitive balance in the West. Saskatchewan being back is just good for the league because everyone wants to hate Saskatchewan unless you're a Rush fan. Like, everyone wants to, come for the big dogs. They're not that far removed from, 3 and 4 years. And, if they're going to be pesky like that, playing against a team like San Diego, and I mean, from San Diego's perspective, like, this is now back-to-back games. You've squeaked out a win, but you've won 1-goal games. It's good that you're able to win those games, but you got to start finding some consistency and really, you want to be this super team. You go out and sign all these big free agents. You might need to have that early look in the mirror and be like, okay, how can we adjust to make sure that we're actually attacking opponents the way that on paper everyone is expecting us to?
Unpopular opinion. It doesn't matter.
That's fair.
It does not matter. You know how I am. You know the brain style I live with when it comes to winning games. Win them. That's literally all that matters.
Sure.
I don't care how you win them.
I mean, we said this preseason. San Diego's a team that they're in a mode of just get us to the postseason.
Not even that. It's just I think people look at the way their team is constructed and is expecting a bunch of blowouts, but I'm honestly not.
There will be some, but yeah.
There will be some, but I'm looking at it in the context of how basketball plays out. Everybody expected the Heat and the Warriors to just blow everyone out, but they always got the best of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's those are the top teams. That's who they want to beat. San Diego putting this team together literally just means people are going to give their absolute 2,000% every time they play them, and it's probably going to be a close game 9 times out of 10. But what makes them a super team is that they're going to win 99% of those games because they have the clutchest players in the league.
Yeah.
That's why I'm it doesn't really matter, and that's why I think people always have to temper their expectations of a team that is full of talent, literally full of talent. Of course, all these teams are full of talent, but there's a difference between being full of talent and being full of talent. San Diego is probably the only team in the league that is truly full of talent outside of Buffalo and maybe Toronto. And that's how I those three are the only three I look at that are truly these three are full of talent.
That's fair.
And it's just you should expect close games when those teams play other teams because they're going to get those teams very best.
Yeah, 100%.
And so you have to understand what makes a team super is having all of the best players perform in the most clutch times.
Yeah,
and that's what San Diego has right now.
So San Diego squeaks that one out. Rochester, 2-0 after. I think we're gonna have to keep track of Rochester's record after Halifax tweeted their odds to win the championship because now Rochester's sitting pretty much atop of the East. I don't know why they're not exactly atop the East on the standings page on the NLL website, but they are 2-0, the only 2-0 team in the East. The only other 2-0 team is San Diego, and my oh my, does Connor Fields look so comfortable in this Rochester offense. I don't know what it is, but he is playing spectacular. He's had back-to-back weeks now where he's the guy. And this is what Rochester has needed. We thought it was going to be Charlie Bertrand, and then he's in Vegas now. But Connor Fields being the guy is very exciting for the league. It's exciting for the East. It's exciting for a lot of these rivalries with Rochester. And Rochester might just be that fun team in the NLL this year that is that feel-good story that you get in every single league where it's this team they might be they're getting there but they're a year ahead. That type of situation where if Rochester makes the playoffs, they're going to be the team that I think a lot of casual fans get behind just because they're that fun team right now. and they look like they're having fun. And I think that's such a big difference from what we've seen from Rochester over the past couple of years, where like it's kind of been like robotic almost with what they've been trying to do. Now it seems like everybody's playing loose. They feel comfortable in the positions they're at, and they went out and they held a Toronto team that is loaded, that you just said, top to bottom, loaded with talent. They held them to 7 goals. And Rylan Hartley has that dog in him. Gonna spoil OTB awards again. Nobody else, in my mind, deserves goalie of the week over Rylan Hartley. Dude was standing on his head, performing at an all-time level last week against Toronto. And Toronto's gonna have these games. Like this is a team that has those games every so often where it's like, damn, they fell flat on their face. And is it a surprise that it happened this early in the season? Maybe. But Rochester has been showing that like they are on a mission to prove everybody wrong about them and like people doubting them, and I just enjoy those types of stories in sports across the board. So if you can go out and just be like kind of on a fuck you tour, I'm gonna be more likely to be aligned with you, and I love the way Rochester is playing right now in all 3 phases of the game.
I can say, Rochester, I'm sorry.
2 weeks in.
I mean, I'm just gonna be straightforward. Like everybody's heard that I was not very fond of Rochester and their moves. I was giving them a tad of optimism due to having, Connor Fields and everything they did, but I wasn't giving them a lot of slack. So they've proven me wrong already, in my opinion. So I'm just gonna come out and apologize to them. Everybody else I don't care. They deserve my apology. They got it. Keep balling. I mean, I'm just excited to see like what else Connor Fields has in his bag of tricks. Like it just reminds me of his time back at Albany, and just like when he could be the guy, he was the guy. Like in his time with Chaos, he also was the guy there for a couple of years, and like he was the guy. Like people are forgetting that Connor Fields is still extremely good at lacrosse, and like he's just making everyone remember.
Yeah, he's looked just like he's having the time of his life out there. 7 points in this game. Spoiler alert for Deech. 4 goals, 3 assists for Fieldsy. So he had himself a game in this one. And I think it's helped Holden Katoni too. Kind of, not that Holden is like a bad player at all. I love Holden Katoni's game. But Connor Fields being like that alpha almost in the offense has allowed Holden to get back to that distribution phase of his game that he had when he was in Georgia, passing the ball off to Lyle, Miles, Shane Jackson, and those guys, and racking up assists, because like that matters in the NLL. That matters a ton if you can help, create offense. And to have Holden Katoni be one of those guys that can create offense, and a guy who can also, pull the trigger at any moment and, put the ball in the back of the net, that just makes Rochester's offense that much more lethal. And then Thomas Hogarth looks fantastic again to start this season. So shout out to Roch Vegas. They're doing the damn thing. They're super fun to watch. And right now, like in this moment in time, watch the Rochester Nighthawks play. They're must watch right now, in my opinion.
Oh, 1,000% must watch. Simply just for Connor Fields, if you ask me. That's enough. But yeah, they have extra behind him that are really pulling their weight this year. I don't know if it was, the disappointing season they had last year, hearing kind of some of the expectations for them this year heading in. Maybe they just all decided to kumbaya personally, or virtually as a team over the offseason. I don't know. But whatever they did is working, and they should just keep doing it.
100%. And then Vancouver and Calgary. Shout out to the boy, Jesse King, named the captain of the Calgary Roughnecks going into this game. He was fantastic again. Calgary looked great. Zach Courier was doing Zach Courier things. Christian Del Bianco looked fantastic. No Sean Evans again. He's targeting Friday's game against Calgary for his return and his debut for Vancouver. Calgary looked very good. I was impressed. Like they didn't look like a team that is deploying a lot of, new faces in a sense, a lot of young guns like they are. They looked very poised. They looked very professional. I was impressed with the way Calgary, handled that game and, didn't really lose sight of the goal in hand, which is to obviously win. That's every team's goal. But Calgary impressed me a lot this weekend in terms of just like they're picking back up right where they left off last year.
I thought this game was extremely physical.
Yeah.
It was like that was like the one takeaway I had. Like, it was good both sides, offensively and defensively. Goalies played well, but like, especially Alex Bouquet. Like, I was like, wow, like, what a bounce back game. Or no, sorry, Steve Fryer.
Yeah.
Bouquet's with
Deep.
Sask. Which he had a good game as well.
Agreed.
I thought he had a really good game. But yeah, I was like, what a bounce back game from Steve Fryer. I thought he played very well. But that Calgary offense is really starting to make it click, making me look really good because I said, that those guys would be able to kind of let their wings open a little bit now that Curtis Dixon was gone. And they're proving that. But like just the physicality and the anger that they played with on both sides. Like I understood it toward Scanlon, as everyone knows that scenario, but he also he played dirty and like guys weren't having it. So like I understood everything they directed at him, but like the rest of it just seemed like there was just like a thick heaviness over the game where dudes just weren't happy. It's like almost true hate.
I love a good rivalry.
I mean, I love it, but like I didn't get that sense last year. I don't know if it was because Vancouver like wasn't that good or what, but like, and they weren't even bad last year in my opinion. But like, I just didn't get that last year when they played. So for them to like come out the gates with this, I'm like, whoa, this is insane. Loved it. I think I wanted to text you and I didn't, but watching this game, I was like, this is the one game that any random fan or first-time person should be watching.
Yep.
If they watch this game, there's no way they don't watch another lacrosse game.
Yeah. Big fan of just like how physical it was and just how well both teams kind of played. Vancouver kind of lost it towards the end of the game, just trying to force shots. But overall, a very solid game, which leads us to the OTB awards for week 2. I have 3 of the 4 written down. I think I have number 4 here, Deej. Rookie of the week, we mentioned Jack Hanna, obviously, like, went stupid, went crazy. People on Twitter were talking about him like mad. So Jack Hanna's our week 2 rookie of the week. I think offensive player of the week goes to Curtis Dixon. He was fantastic. He's probably, if the season ended after 2 weeks, he's the MVP. Scores that game winner for San Diego. And, honorable mention or, 1A of offensive player of the week goes to Connor Fields again, in my opinion. Goalie of the week, Rylan Hartley. And I think my defensive player of the week, you tell me this, since you are our defensive expert here. I'm going to just list off this stat line, and you tell me if you agree, because I think this is one of the better underrated defensive stat lines, even though this guy's team lost. 1 assist, 9 loose balls, and he had 2 turnovers. I think the loose balls were huge to keep this team in the game. But Tor Reinhold, the 9 loosies is pretty impressive for a team that ended up losing. His teammate, there's another, I'm torn between 2 here, both from Vegas. His teammate, 2 loose balls, 2 blocks, 3 caused turnovers. No personal turnovers. Garrett McIntosh. I'm torn between both of them.
Let me check something.
And while Deej is checking that, OTB Awards brought to you by our friends at Trophy Smack. It's the best way to upgrade your fantasy smack talk. They've got trophies. They've got belts. They've got rings. They've got last place trophies. They've got metal wall art. You name it, they got it. I'm sure you guys are doing fantasy lacrosse across the board. Shout out to Hutt and Jackson. Go to trophysmack.com/underground and upgrade your fantasy smack talk today. That's trophysmack.com/underground. trophysmack.com/underground. Upgrade your fantasy smack talk.
I wanted to look.
I'm also looking at another guy on this Vegas team that I could drop into the mix. This one might take it because he's got a little bit of everything. Scored the first goal in Vegas Desert Dogs history. John Wagner, brother of Ryan Wagner of the Philadelphia Wings. Johnny Wags had 4 points in this game, 2 goals, 2 assists, on 2 shots on goal as well. 7 loose balls, 2 blocks, 3 turnovers, 2 caused turnovers. So a net of -1 in the turnover department of actual turnovers to caused turnovers, but filled the stat sheet across the board. You're muted.
I'm debating throwing Curtis Knight in there.
I was thinking about that too.
3 assists, 5 loosies. He's got a block, but he's even on the turnover to cost turnover ratio.
Looking at, I'm kind of leaning Johnny Wags. Not even that he's like full-blown like defense guy, but that's an impressive stat sheet for first game in a new city for him. I think he is transition as his actual position tag, if you will. No, he's listed as a defenseman. I mean, 4 points as a defenseman is pretty impressive too.
Right.
And then, like I mentioned, he had 7 loose balls, 2 blocks, 2 caused turnovers, and he turned it over 3 times. And his two goals came on 2 shots on goal. It was 100% shooting. I think John Wagner's getting my nod. Now that I've dissected it.
I almost want to throw Kyle Rubish in here too. But yeah, I have to go Wagner too.
I'm giving him the extra nod because he scored the first goal in Vegas history as a defenseman. You gotta love that.
Yeah, I did. I was watching. I was like, really? Is this how they're gonna? They're really trying to get me to like tip the scale, but like I can't. They messed it up with their promo, coming in hot and dropping Desert Dogs. Just it did it for me.
I mean, I tweeted it and a lot of people retweeted and liked it. I'm tired of the grayscale type of uniforms, and when I say grayscale, I mean black, white, and gray.
Thanks.
Like, tired of it.
Sorry. I don't have any other color.
Not from your perspective. Like, this is not a personal slight. I'm talking at the professional level. Like,
we need
too much of it.
Yeah.
We need color splashes. Like, give me something, please. Like,
but I mean, there's only technically really only 2 teams.
I mean, Calgary's got the black, gray, and white. You know, their color splash comes with their turf, which I can't be mad about because it is OTB teal.
And
Vegas, and then
Vancouver pushes.
Yeah, Vancouver's kind of blah too. Like,
but that's kind of it.
We're missing so many colors on the color wheel, guys.
We're definitely missing red.
We're missing red. We're lacking
Yellow.
We're lacking yellow a little bit outside of Georgia and like,
but that's more
sort of adjacent with the Wings. Like, we're missing. I think we're missing green. Like, even though you got Saskatchewan, like, give us a little bit of, you know, look at DJ's shirt if you're watching on YouTube. Like, that forest green that works, that plays. I think we're missing blue in the NLL.
Well, you got Georgia, you have Toronto.
Give me like a powder blue team. Like
Okay,
Vegas
nah,
could have had that
that's
powder blue,
fine.
like that collab they did with the.
But I mean,
I forget what DJ it was, but the jerseys they put out that were limited edition. Like if that was Vegas's jersey, that'd be sick.
New York just needs to drop. Just needs to wear teal more.
Yeah, or add a
Honestly.
teal jersey.
Yeah, they have the like one for like
The healthcare appreciation.
Yeah, but like they need to just drop like a regular teal jersey.
Yep.
Like it's not that like some of these colors are there, they're just not being used correctly. Right. I'll say, and others are just not there.
Yeah. So Deej, that brings us to your state of the fandom after week 2. How's everybody looking in terms of just looking in your eyes? How's everybody looking after 2 weeks of the 2022-2023 season in terms of your fandom?
Rochester got some cool points because like they got like a decent fan base, but it's not like overly large, so like I can be accepted. And like they were good, and then they took a massive drop, so it's not really a bandwagon pick either. So they definitely got some cool points. I don't know if I can get down with San Diego, TBH. They might actually lost some points. Like,
hey,
I'm not big.
They already didn't have points because they still don't follow us.
That, and I'm not a big super team guy.
Only team in the West that doesn't follow us.
And they keep proving themselves as a super team. So
I can't be out on them. I just root for too many of the players individually on that team that it's like,
yeah,
they're fun.
I'm cool with like players, but like as a team, I can't. But also Calgary getting cool points still. Like,
so everybody's still on the table.
Pretty much
as of week 2.
Georgia might be back off the table.
Well, but they've got 2 negatives. They don't follow us, and they've got a whack mascot.
And after seeing him on TV last week, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh, so there it is. Everybody's still on the table, safe through 2 weeks, safe through the holidays, at least right now. But we've still got plenty of games to talk about.
Calgary's probably got the number 1 spot right now, though.
Huh. Interesting. Do we have a top 5 yet? Like we did last year?
Yeah. I think we can go 5-1. We can go Rochester, Buffalo, New York, Toronto, Calgary.
So there it is. The state of the fandom post week 2. Week 3 is going to, I think, have a lot of implications on the fandom because we've got a lot of games. And without any further ado, I think, Deej, we should
feed the duckies.
We should feed some ducks.
Feed the duckies.
And get into the NLL Week 3 Picks of the Week, powered by our homies over at Pickup. You guys can go to playpickup.com. It's the easiest way to play props on all your favorite sports, your favorite players, you name it. All you got to do is sign up with your phone number. No passwords or usernames to remember. You rack up points on your fan profiles by getting props correct. You cash those in for prizes on the Pickup Marketplace. It's free to play. Anybody can do it. So go to playpickup.com and start playing those headlines. Deej, we start Week 3 with a rematch already. An early season rematch on the docket. This time in Vancouver. Your Calgary Roughnecks taking on the Vancouver Warriors. Sean Evans allegedly going to make his debut this week. That was the target, at least mentioned on the broadcast. It is the TSN Game of the Week this week. Very physical matchup last week. How do you see Calgary and Vancouver round 2 shaping up?
You know I'm going to go with my boys. I can't call them number 1 and then not go with them. That's just disrespectful. But they got to watch out for Brett Hickey. He is knocking on the door like crazy. And when he pops, he's going to pop. So keep an eye on that guy. But I trust those grayscale boys up north to come through.
Yeah, shout out to the king of the mountains, I guess you could say. Jesse King. I'm going Calgary as well. I think, they just looked like the better team, and back-to-back weeks, it's hard to kind of get a grasp of who looks better, who doesn't, and I'm going with my gut. Calgary gets this one. We've got another rematch from last week, this time in Las Vegas for the very first time. The Vegas Desert Dogs hosting Panther City in an already bounce-back rematch. That's all Friday night is. Friday night rematch. I like the way both of these teams played last weekend. I was very impressed with both. They were very fun. I think it's a benefit for Las Vegas that they're playing Panther City this quickly on a turnaround as a team. So you know what? I'm gonna throw the Desert Dogs a bone. I'm gonna say Vegas wins a close one and get their first win in franchise history.
You know the method, man.
Shout out.
I'm telling you, that's it, man. They're gonna win at home though, for sure. Like just the energy they played with on the road. You're now going to put them in a city like Vegas, right around Christmas time, where people are visiting. Tickets aren't super expensive. They could possibly sell out, quotations, this game and have a baller crowd in their first game ever with that kind of energy. I like their chances to win.
So we're on the same page for Friday night rematches. We're going to be caffeinated up for those games, both 10 o'clock and 10:30 Eastern time first face-offs there, respectfully. Moving to Saturday, a loaded slate of games. A rivalry renewed in Toronto as the Rock look to bounce back against who else than the Buffalo Bandits. What a matchup already, week 3. Toronto, like I said, looking to bounce back after a tough loss to Rochester. Buffalo looking to rebound as well. They lost week 1. This might be the toughest game to pick. This is the game that I'm saying to all of the people out there who are trying to get into the NLL, watch this game. Like, make this appointment viewing. It's 7 Eastern time on a Saturday. Put this thing on, because you're going to love what you see. I guarantee it. I don't know where I'm going with this one. They are very evenly matched across the board in a lot of areas and a lot of, position by position breakdowns. I'm going to go Buffalo, though. It's going to be close. I think this is a final possession type of game. I'm going to go Buffalo in a very close, wild rivalry matchup in Toronto.
I want to check something before I make my claim. But I believe if I'm not mistaken, that the Toronto Rock have not lost back-to-back games since I have been covering.
It's a good stat. It's a good stat.
Since I have been covering the sport.
It's a good stat. That might make me change my pick because of how good of a stat that is.
Like, dude, like I don't want to be wrong, but like I'm almost positive.
Here, let's see.
For some reason, it won't. I can't find archives. But I would bet that they haven't.
Yeah, I mean, they went 13-5 last year, so
That's kind of hard to have lost back-to-back games.
they did lose back-to-back games
Just once.
January 8th and January 15th at Buffalo and then home against Halifax. And they lost 3 of 5 to start the season last year. Granted, the Halifax game was an overtime loss.
Give me Toronto. I'm glad I fact-checked myself on that, but I still like it.
A long-winded pick breakdown there for us, but let's move on to the next matchup. A battle of upstate New York in Albany. The Albany Firewolves 1-0 hosting the 2-0 Rochester Nighthawks. This game is going to be fun. There's a lot of early season implications here. This is a rematch of dueling goalies, if you will. And hopefully we see more of that because it'd be fucking electric. How do you see this one playing out between Rochester and Albany, Deej?
This might be my hardest game to pick this week. Knowing what the newfound Albany offense is capable of, and knowing that this is the first time this newfound Rochester is going to play a not common defense, very uncommon defense in the way that Albany plays, I'm very intrigued. Because maybe this newly put together Rochester offense is the first one to truly bust this Albany team open. Or they don't.
I have my pick already. Connor Field's going home to play in Albany. Give me the fucking Rochester Nighthawks, baby. 3-0. I can't wear the jersey and then not pick them. Give me the Rochester Nighthawks.
But Connor Kelly and Kieran McCardle.
I love Kieran. I love the boy. I love Joey Nards.
Ethan Walker.
I love Ewok. But give me Connor Fields in Albany with the way he's playing right now.
Actually, the seller for me to pick Rochester is Ryan Hartley. He started this year off fantastic. Not that Dougie James is playing bad, but
yeah, he's playing great. He's only got one game under his belt. We got more film on Hartley to kind of take a look at.
Yeah, exactly. And they're riding the momentum of a 2-0 start on what many people didn't believe was going to happen. So
then we move on to our next 7 o'clock game. Both of those two games we just talked about are at 7 o'clock Eastern time. This game also at 7 Eastern time.
How many screens they think I got?
The Philadelphia Wings, back from their bye week, go down to Georgia to take on the Georgia Swarm in a battle of the 12-11 Bowl. Chapter 7, I think. I'm not even exaggerating. I think this is Chapter 7 for that outcome. You already know where I'm going. My heart's with the Wings. They always play well in Georgia. Like, ever since I've started covering the team for some reason, they have played well in Georgia. So I'm going to take the Philadelphia Wings to bounce back from their, terrible showing in Halifax on opening night and get a bounce back win against a rival. Like, this is a rivalry, and I think the Wings take this one and get their first win of the season.
I'll take the Wings as well. The chances of the Wings starting 0-2 on the road, knowing what they have coming up.
I think having the week off after that Halifax game was good for them. Kind of gives them a chance to regroup, reset. I like that. Next game, 7:30 Eastern Time on Long Island. The Halifax Thunderbirds coming to town to take on the New York Riptide. This might be the most fun game of the weekend after seeing what New York did when we were there against San Diego and how well their offense played versus a Halifax team that looked very rejuvenated and very, very good. New York's at home. Halifax has looked good. I think my biggest swing here for who I'm picking is that I just need to see evidence of it get done more often. And I haven't seen New York get it done consistently enough for me to feel confident picking them this week. And the way Halifax looked against the Wings was very impressive. So I'm going to take Halifax in what I believe will be another close game for the Riptide, but I'm going to go with Halifax.
You're just a hater, dog.
I'm not a hater. I love the Riptide.
Not trying to. In all respects, you're just a hater. The vibes were immaculate last week. 2 weeks ago. Math hard, y'all. I swear. The vibes were immaculate 2 weeks ago. I loved it. They still got my energy in the building. It's there. They know what's up. The guys are going to get it done this week. It looked good a couple weeks ago. It'll look good again. And really, if we want to be honest, that was supposed to go to overtime.
Valid.
And they might have just won that in overtime because they were buzzing.
I think my biggest question mark here too is obviously we don't know, and we'd hope with a week off that he's fine. Callum being injured in that game, hopefully he's back, and we'll see what the defensive stuff is because they were missing 3 of their best defensemen in that game against San Diego. The Riptide were, so I think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be another close game.
They lost by 1.
Like, this wouldn't shock me if this is another 1-goal game for the Riptide, one way or another. But I really liked how Halifax's offense was clicking already. Randy Stott's coming back, I think, was a big shot in the arm just for team morale for this team, for a guy that they've wanted on that roster for a very long time. So give me Halifax. And then Deej, the final game of the weekend, 8 p.m. Eastern time. First time a team has doubled up, I believe, this season. Panther City back at home after having to go to Vegas on Friday. Saturday night, they're back at home for their second home game of the year, hosting the defending champion Colorado Mammoth, who got flat out embarrassed by the Saskatchewan Rush opening weekend. Big yikes. I think having 2 games in a weekend is tough, especially when it's back-to-back days. It's not like it's, Sunday there and have a full day of recovery. I do think this game will be close, but I like Colorado to bounce back after having their bye week last week, and they're not going to get embarrassed like they did 2 weeks in a row. And if they do, I'll be heartbroken. But give me the Mammoth to get their first win of this championship tour campaign, if you will, against Panther City.
Yep, book it. After the embarrassment they got 2 weeks ago, no way do they lose 2 weeks in a row. That was very bad.
It's tough scenes.
Also, you all know, I've said it before, I'm not really a betting man. But after Dylan Ward got chased, first game of the year last year, in the way they played, and then he turned around and did it again this year, I might just be putting a futures bet on the boys when I go to Vegas. Just go say that.
There
just
it is.
Say that.
So to recap, here are the week 3 picks of the week, powered by Pickup for myself and Deej. We're both going Calgary and Las Vegas on Friday night. I'm going with Buffalo. DJ's going with Toronto. We're both taking Rochester over Albany, the Wings over Georgia. I'm going Halifax. Deej is going New York. And we're both going with the Colorado Mammoth. And those are your week 3 NLL picks of the week, powered by Pickup. Deej, let's shift some gears here from the turf to the field. Championship Series rosters got announced today. Shout out to the PLL. They knew we were recording. All 4 teams, their rosters announced. I was kind of right about some of these teams, with some of their big dogs listed and rocking and rolling, ready to play, especially that Archer squad. I'm going to go through the rosters here for you and let Deej react, because I don't know if you saw the rosters or not. I don't know if this was part of your Non-intentional lacrosse detox or not, Deej, but here are. Have you seen these at all?
No.
Okay, so here's first initial reactions to the PLL Championship Series rosters. We'll start with the Archers. Here is your squad: Ryan Ambler, Grant Ament, Ryan Oghaven, Jared Connors, Connor D. Simone, Marcus Holman, Will Manny, Matt Moore, John Robbins, Jeff Trainer, and your goalies are Brendan Krebs and Nick Washuta. So no gits for the championship series.
Why is goalie the only person not like a
Wait, what?
bro? I could have sworn we were gonna see so many like player pool guys, bro. That's not gonna be the case at all. This is so funny. Oh my god! Like,
Roster's loaded.
I don't even know what to think anymore. Like, I'm gonna have so much to say when we like really talk about this. Oh my god! Go ahead.
Here's the Atlas roster. Here's the Bulls, who are playing with an interim coach: Dox Aitken, Dan Bucaro. Give me that Jake Caraway. Brian Costabile, Peter Dirth, Romar Dennis, Chris Greasy, Christian Mazzone, Mark O'Rourke, who I'm not familiar with at all. I don't know if you are. And Kobe Smith. And then goalies are Jack Kincannon and Drake Porter. So JD Colarusso not participating in the championship series, and that's why the boy Drake Porter is with Atlas. I'm assuming you know who Mark O'Rourke is.
Yeah.
Who did he play for college-wise?
He started at Bryant and then transferred.
We talked about him in the draft, like, period, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
For a very short second. He went to Bryant.
Kobe Smith playing in this is going to be so fun. Excited, especially to boy Jake Caraway on the roster, too.
And Dox Aitken, yeah.
Dox. Yeah. Bucaro, I think, is going to be really good.
Mazzone actually has really good chances.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
Mazzone's going to be dirty. Here are the League Pass boys. The Beauties. Your Chrome Championship Series roster. Justin Anderson. Harrison Bardwell. Colin Heacock. Dylan Malloy. Jackson Morill. Kevin Rogers. Gibson Smith IV. Alex Smith. Cole Williams. Logan Wisnowskis. And your goalies are Sean Scanoni and Owen McElroy. So no, why am I blanking on his name? Our Rookie of the Year.
Huh?
Who was the other rookie that Chrome drafted last year that I'm totally blanking on his name right now, and I don't know why?
Oh, Brennan Nickturn.
Yes. So no Nick Turn, obviously. Military obligations, I think, play a part in that. But group playing, I think underrated Cole Williams is going to be ridiculous in sixes.
I agree.
He's going to be so fun.
He's already his size and IQ are going to fit him they just set him up to be very successful.
And I love that Alex Smith is playing in this after getting traded to Chrome during the season from Cannons. And the boy, Jackson Morill, on the roster. Let's go. Let's fucking ride, boys. And then here are the Whip Snakes, which might be the most interesting roster of the four. Matt Abbott, Juicy J. Carlson. I'm very excited Jay is playing sixes. Gutty, Wheaton Jacobois, Brennan Kamish, Keegan Kahn, Will Perry, Roman Puglisi, Brad Smith, Tyler Warner, and then Kyle Burnlore and Brian Phipps.
I mean,
and when I say interesting, it's the fact that these depth guys for Whip Snakes are now going to get a chance to play. Because Zed's playing with Colorado, Rambo's playing.
I was going to say, it's kind of what I expected. And in my opinion, I didn't really expect these guys to come back and play for this short stint. So I expected a lot of Whips guys to kind of come out the woods and get a chance to like show who they are. So I don't know. Maybe they might just win off of that, being the only people who like people don't really know too much about.
These rosters are so fun. Like, Seeing the rosters now has me juiced for this. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited. But like, man, I thought we were gonna see a lot more rosters that looked like the Whip Snakes.
Yeah.
For the first three, kind of took me aback.
Yeah, a lot of guys ready to rock and roll, which is exciting. Who's just based off of rosters I listed? Who do you think is the top dog?
Come on.
It's anybody's game.
Oh, stop it. Who are you? Who do you think is the top dog? Because I'm sure we're thinking the same thing.
I think it's a coin flip for top dog.
Between
Archers and Chrome.
you said Archers first because
Well, here's why I think it's a coin flip. I like the goalie situation more for Chrome.
you just don't know about Brendan Chris for real.
I do, but I like the fact that Scanoni has played with these guys and knows these guys for an entire actual PLL season. I like the chemistry factor.
That ain't gonna mean nothing to Sixers. Sixers is gonna be the most pickup basketball thing you ever seen. It really
Give me the Fedora boys.
It really want. I mean, you can take them, but all I'm saying is, this is the most professional lacrosse we'll see that chemistry won't really matter. It's going to be all just about skill and speed and IQ. Because like legitimately,
If there's any team though that can run with the speed of that Archers team, I think it's the Chrome team.
I would say Atlas. Romar.
I think they're right
Kobe,
there.
Peter Durth. Teets low-key got the Speedzers. Like
He's not playing.
I know. Who else was that? I mean, Christian Mazzone. Sorry. Christian Mazzone.
Chris Gray, you were probably thinking about too.
Dan Picaro is also not that slow. It's like Dox Aiken's also on the faster side. So I really
not with that black cleat white sock combo.
Hey, he's a menace. All right, I don't say nothing to him.
So that's the championship series rosters, which is very exciting. Deej, what was the last PLL top 50 that you saw? And this segment brought to you by our friends at Kenwood Beer. Go to kenwoodbeer.com, use that all-new and improved Kenny tracker, and when you're going to the Wells Fargo Center for our Philly people, grab a big Kenny, because you can get Kenwood Beer at the Wells Fargo Center now, which is very exciting. Go to kenwoodbeer.com. You got to be 21 or older to do so, and of course, please drink responsibly. So, Deej, what was the last PLL top 50 post you saw?
I'm pretty sure it was 25.
Oh, wow. So you got a lot. And I think the only other one you know is because I sent you, our boy got snubbed from top 10.
Yeah.
So you saw through, the first 25.
Which stopped
stops at...
No, sorry, 20.
So 21 was Joe Nardella.
Yeah, that's where I stopped. I saw Joe and Rob and Garrett and all those guys.
All right, so here is the top 20. Now, the only ones they have not released are the top 3, but I have deduced who the top 3 will be, and that is, in no order, Trevor Baptiste, Lyle Thompson, Tom Schreiber, although I think that will be the ultimate order that they get announced in.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Man. I think I like Trevor at 3, but I think the other two switch. Lyle's.
I think Trevor's going to be number 1.
Oh, no.
Every single year they've done, the only reason I'm saying this is from a pure, when you were looking to see if The Rock had lost back-to-back games. Every single year they've done the top 50, if I'm not mistaken, the MVP got the number 1 spot. That's the only reason I'm saying Trevor's going to be number 1.
I could see that, but Lyle doing what Lyle did this year, scoring
Lyle's my number 2, in the order, and then Schreiber's going to be 3.
Scoring as many points as he did.
Which I think is the lowest Schreiber would ever be if he gets number 3, because he's always either been 1 or 2.
Yeah. I like Lyle. Maybe Lyle, Trevor, Tribes, but I like Lyle at 1. That's probably the only lock I truly have is Lyle at 1.
So we'll see what happens there. But here is your 20 to 16. Number 20, Dane Smith. Number 19, Brad Smith. Number 18, Zed Williams. Number 17, Matt Dunn. And number 16, the brick wall himself, Dylan Ward. I was surprised that Dylan did not crack top 15.
Yeah, Wardsy's a little low. I think the rest are okay.
Here is 15 to 11. Number 15, Graham Hosick. Number 14, JT Giles Harris. Number 13, Kyle Bernlor. Very shocked KB was not in the top 10. Number 12, Danny Logan. And number 11, snubbed, fitting for me that he gets the honorary Sticks number this year, as Deej would call it, Kieran McCardle at number 11, which I'm pretty sure, rewind the tapes, last week we said Kieran was going to end up number 11. That's where he falls. Keep sleeping on the boy. Just keep sleeping on him. But Deej, what are your thoughts on that run through there?
Boy got snubbed for sure. I think from the names that are still left, I understand why KB is outside of the top 10. But my mom's calling me. That's funny. Yeah, I think KB makes sense in being outside of the top 10. Danny Logan at 12 is interesting, but I do like it.
Yeah, I
thought he had a fantastic year at short stick D mid, and continues to prove how valuable that position is.
So here is the beginnings of the top 10. This is wild shit. Number 10, your championship game MVP, Michael Sowers. Your number 9, Matt Rambo. Your number 8, Blaze Reardon. Number 7, Zach Currier. And number 6, Josh Byrne.
I need you to run through those again.
I will run it back. I'll run it back turbo. Here's your 10 through 6. Number 10, championship game MVP, Michael Sowers. Number 9, Matt Rambo. Number 8, Blaze Reardon. Number 7, Zach Currier. Number 6, Josh Byrne.
Burnsy at 6 is like understandable, but still kind of wild in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just because, like,
and that's no slight at Josh.
No slight, but just
he missed 4 games.
Hello, and everybody else who missed games is
way back.
Down the line, like
way back.
Is this just because he did a 4-button combo 2 years ago?
Like,
still just which by the way, kids are just pulling that off randomly in Sunday box. Like, I hate it. I hate it, but they're doing it. But I don't know if he still gets respect for that. But
can we talk about the best player on the planet in all facets? Number 8.
I understand it.
That's kind of crazy to me.
They're taking it. It's truly based off of this year though, and like you got to take into account. Yeah, he didn't have a good portion of his offense, but he still didn't play
on the surface though. As a whole, would you say Blaze is a top 5 player? Like if you like were making a list, Blaze is in the top 5 to me, no matter what. Like he's just that ridiculously good.
Yes, overall, but looking solely at this past year, I can name 5 other people that I would say were better than him. I could probably name 10.
Who would your 5 in front of him be?
I mean, the top 5. I legitimately think the top 5 are the 5 that should be there. They may not be in the order I think they are, but I think they were the top 5 players this year. Or at least the 2 that we know, 5 and 4, and then the 3 that we suspect. Those are who I believe are the top 5. And
I'd at least flip Josh and Blaze.
With the way it's set now, yes. But
and I'd also go and flip Josh and Michael Sowers.
If I could choose, I would push Sowers up. I would push Currier. I would push Currier up to 6. And I would probably put Kieran at 7. Rambo at 8. Sowers at 9. And then probably Rambo or Blaze at 10.
If I was just taking from this chunk of 6 through 10 for what it is, I'd say Blaze is at 6. No, actually, I'll agree with you. Zach Currier at 6. Blaze at 7. Sowers at 8. Rambo is good at 9 for me. And then Josh at 10. And again, that's no slight to Josh. Like, team got to the championship game. He had an amazing playoff and everything. But also missing 4 games and, like, kind of skewed stats. And if you're basing it off of this year, which it is, it's tough to me to put Josh Byrne at 6. But, hey, he's one fucking hell of a player, so.
That's the same reason I'm bumping. I would have both of them at, like, 9 and 10-ish, like that area. But if I could, I would completely move Josh Byrne back into 11 to 20-ish range somewhere in there. And Blaze would be teetering the top 10 just based solely off this year because of those 4 games that Josh and the rest of them missed and how it impacted Blaze in the defense. Like, to me, that matters. Some people, it doesn't.
And then number 5 and number 4, Michael Earhart, Jeff Teat. A lot of comments on here. It's a pretty interesting argument. It's a argument for another podcast, I would say. A lot of people saying they'll never give it to him because he's an LSM, but Michael Earhart is arguably the number 1 player. That's just strictly Instagram comments. It's an argument for another day.
They don't want to hear my side of that.
But I don't hate the argument.
Oh, I totally agree with it. There's nothing better than a long stick who can score and handle.
Like,
Nothing.
there's a lot of people saying Earhart, low-key best player in the world, but won't put him there because he's an LSM.
Yeah, no, seriously. Like outside of Lyle Thompson, like, we are looking at the best lacrosse player. Maybe Brody Merrill gives him a run. Scott, like prime Brody Merrill, prime Scotty,
prime
like,
Brody,
prime Joel. Like, those dudes are on the same level of Mike. Like, where it's like they're the best player on the field because they can lock you down, take the ball away, and then go score all in the same possession. And there's nothing any of you can do about it. So, yeah, a long stick that can handle and score is 1,000% better than the rest of you. Get over it.
It's a fun topic that I think having. I think that's a podcast we get Keegs on for.
Yeah,
I think that would be fun.
that could be. I want to hear, like, his analytical side to that,
Yeah.
and pulling out statistics and all that jazz.
So bookmark that for later on this winter, early spring, when we look back at this a little bit more. But obviously, top 3, it's Schreiber, Lyle, and Trevor in some sort of order that'll come out by the time you guys are listening to this. You guys can put it in the YouTube comment section how you think it'll shake out. Give us your top 3. So that is the PLL Top 50 chat. We'll wrap up with the top 3 discussion next week. But Deej, we got a little mail time action, and the more I've thought about this, I'm like, man, should we have like an Underground Sports like P.O. box? Be great. Maybe like when we're bigger. But that's some like mail time would be a ton of fun. We do have mail time here. We're adding some lacrosse memorabilia to the studio. Obviously, Deej got his Method Man shirt. I got mine as well, but I chose to wear the Nighthawks jersey this week just to make Deej laugh. Because I ordered this when we were in the press box on Long Island. But we're adding some mail that actually, Deej, came from right in the backyard of this team's makeup, Nottingham, Maryland. I had the mystery. We also got a mystery pack that we're adding to our big ass pack opening from 2021. It's right here. This came from Michigan.
Bro, wait, where?
I was gonna ask you to be exact. Shelby Township, Michigan.
How far away is that for real, bro? Because why didn't you just... Yeah, bro, he got off. That's 3.5 hours away, bro. I definitely could have picked that up. Oh, that's over in the Detroit area, too. Man.
So we got a mystery pack to add to our big-ass pack opening. I had more packs come today, Deej, but I'm waiting because I think it was supposed to be 6 packs in there, but there was only 5. So I don't know if I'm missing a pack or not.
No. You're miscounting. We ordered 5 total.
No, the order I had was supposed to be 6 packs.
You sure?
Yeah. This was the one that I got the BOGO.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because
Yeah. Because I have another round of 6, and I had the 5 already come in. So I'm waiting to open those just to be sure, making sure nothing comes that's not supposed to. But we've got Colin Squire signed lacrosse ball right there in the flesh. There it is.
ooh, beautiful.
Nice little signature. So that'll be in the studio somewhere at some point. Right now, it's going to go on the shelf and hang out with the Wings hat.
I
But yeah,
like that.
once the rest of our packs come in, we're going to have a big-ass pack opening live stream because we've got hella packs, and it's going to be a ton of fun. But Deej, any final thoughts before we get up on out of here?
Nah, just watch NLO. It's worth it.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. YouTube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. Make sure you guys are following us at OTB LaxPod, Twitter and Instagram. Follow Deej on Twitter at SCS_NextGreat. Follow me at KBIZZL311. Subscribe to the podcast feed, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We are there. Leave those 5-star reviews. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. Get us to 350 subscribers before New Year's Day 2023 rolls around. We're at 329. It's that easy. We're 21 away. 21 away. So go subscribe, smash that like button, ring the bell icon, comment down below your thoughts on everything DJ and I touched on tonight's episode. And shout out to the sponsees. Go get your merch, PHI Apparel Company. Use code Underground for 10% off at phiapparel.co. And if you do buy merch, let us know. Tweet your receipt. Obviously, blank out all the important information so you don't dox yourself. And then when it comes in, tweet it at us. We'll retweet it. We'll post it. All that good stuff. phiapparel.co. Code Underground, 10% off your order. But this has been episode number 252 of the allegedly award-nominated number 9 NCAA podcast and the official lacrosse podcast on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. OTB, Outside the Box Podcast. For Deej, I'm KB. Till next week, we're getting the heck up out of here. Peace.